Welcome into the Browns Report. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson. Week 4 preview coming at you guys. We're going to lay it all out here as the Cleveland Browns will travel up to Minneapolis taking on the Vikings. It's going to be a fun one. Let's check out some of the notes here. Browns entering with a 2-1 record while the Vikings are opposite 1-2. Minnesota's had the advantage over Cleveland, but these two teams do not meet up often. That's just a fun little nugget. In fact, that fifth matchup, you got to go back to the 90s for it, all right? But here's what's interesting to me. Browns, 86 points so far through 3 games, the best since 2002, all right? And then third in yards allowed here. That's a really strong defense that the Vikings will run into. Well, strong-ish. We'll unpack it later on. And then as for the Vikings, third in total yards. So you've got some oil and water mixing right there. Look at the odds here. Browns 2-point favorites. As for the Vikings, they got the over-under over there at 51.5. Truthfully, I don't have a good stab at that one right there. I think that's a good number set by Vegas. Not going to look to abuse that. We'll pick our battles elsewhere. Browns 2-point favorites also seems pretty spot on in my opinion. Now, looking at the Vikings here. What have they done so far? Well, 3 games in, they're 1-2. I think they're better than their record indicates. They lost to a frisky, you don't want to face them at the wrong time, Bengals team in overtime. Then a 37-yard missed field goal at regulation against the Cardinals separates them from being 2-1 and 1-2. And then they showcase that they're going to put things together. Mike Zimmer's going to turn down the hot potato on his bun right now, and they're going to stay up, and he hopefully can avoid getting fired for his sake as they go to 1-2. Now, what I want to know from you guys is predict the score for me. Browns, Vikings. Who you got? It's a tough one. I think this is a tougher game than the schedule would indicate, all right? Going to Minnesota, just knocked off the Seahawks at home. This is not going to be an easy out for the Browns. So far, I'm 3-0 in picking the Browns. Not the scores, but at least winning and losing. I'm going to stick with the Browns here. I'm going to stick with the Cleveland Browns. I almost said the Vikings, but no. I got the Browns 27-25, all right? This is going to be a big matchup here. Browns offense versus Vikings defense, all right? Vikings defense has not been all that stout, okay? They have been run over a little bit here. The offense we'll talk about later on, but this Vikings defense, once again, look at the Browns numbers right there. They've got some big passing numbers they can abuse. Vikings nearly allowing 300 yards through the air. We know what the run game for Cleveland can do. It's up to Baker Mayfield in the passing game to really put the cherry on the top here. And then third downs, Minnesota just taking their defense off the field at key situations a ton. My question for you guys again, over or under 24 points for the Vikings in this one? I picked that number for a reason. If you guys have watched the Browns Report before, you know I like to cherry pick these over-under numbers. 24 points for the Vikings. Well, that's how many points that's the minimum. That's the floor they have scored so far. They did that in Week 1 against the Bengals. Are they going to get more or under than that in this one? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments section below. Browns fans, we got the hookup for you guys at BetUS. Start printing out some green cash. Listen, you can open up a U.S. state treasury, all right, in your living room, couch, wherever you make your bets. Do it at chatsports.com/bet. You plug in the promo code Browns125. They're going to hook you up with a 125% deposit bonus. Great deal. You just got to use the link, chatsports.com/bet. Have to use that with the promo code Browns125 to get that deposit bonus. Here's a bet that I picked out that I'm a big fan of, all right? It's a team prop. It's a little nitty-gritty, but listen to me. No team to score 3 unanswered times. That's all, and it's plus 220. So basically, if no team puts up 3 unanswered scores and you put $10 on this, you're going to be walking away with $22, all right? You put 100 in, you got 220 to play with. I put 50 big ones on this one. I'm just talking $50, not $50,000, all right? We don't have that kind of money yet. But go ahead right now. Check them out, chatsports.com/bet. Browns125. Ride with me on this one. No team to score 3 unanswered times, plus 220. Great odds over at BetUS. All right, now let's dive into some key players. What we're going to look for, not quite keys to the game just yet, but key players to watch for. All right, this way when you're at the watering hole, when you're at the cooler in your office, you're like, hey, you know what you got to look for on this Vikings team? We got you hooked up here. Let's start on the offensive side for the Browns, all right? Here's who I'm looking at. A bunch of obvious names. Baker Mayfield, 73.8. Loving that completion percentage. He's been pretty, I'm not going to say conservative with the ball because he had over 300 yards in week 1 against the Chiefs, but I want to see him now attack, down the field a little bit more because you got OBJ back. 5 receptions, 77 yards in week 3 against the Bears. Look for those numbers to spike up a little bit. And then usually I just roll with one running back, but how could you when you have Chunt? Too good. So I love what I've seen out of these two guys right there. As for the Vikings defense, here's what the Browns offense will clash up against. Danielle Hunter, he is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Everson Griffin, a little old, but he's going to make the list here for his namesake. But the biggest name is probably Harrison Smith. All right, the free safety, one of the best in the NFL. What Harrison Smith does is he eliminates the middle of the field. So look for the Browns offense to attack the sidelines, okay? That's not where Harrison Smith lives. He lives in between the hash marks. DPJ, OBJ, attack the sidelines, stretch the field out east and west, not only north and south. Now, Chunt. It's the best running back duo in the NFL. These two guys just keep handing off who's going to have a better day. Week 3, it was Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb, you get a little bit of breather, even though you continue to lead the team in carries, even when Hunt's having a great day. I've loved what I've seen out of both of them. I've said it before. And these two guys, they're pound the rock. This offense is not a Lamborghini offense. It is a Ford F-150 pickup truck, shove it down your throat kind of offense. And these two guys do it better than anyone else in the NFL. So pretty pumped to see what these two guys can do. Now let's turn things over to the Vikings offense here, all right? Kirk Cousins, I love to rag on this guy, all right? I think he got overpaid. I think the primetime results show that. I think the Vikings know, I think everyone knows that it's not lived up to expectations. Having said all that, he is quietly putting up very, very, very good numbers, like MVP caliber numbers. If those kind of numbers with Patrick Mahomes right now, he would be the MVP favorite, okay? I'm still thinking he is actually, but regardless, don't sleep on Cousins. Don't let last year Kirk Cousins fool you for this year Kirk Cousins. As for Dalvin Cook, he was a no-go in week 3, up in the air. Alexander Mattison is backup. He is just as reliable as any other backup in the NFL. So if it's not Cook, you might as well prepare for him because Mattison is not someone you can just take the day off on. There you got Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Jefferson, he is more of your from the goal line, from your own goal line to the 20-yard line threat. He is good all over the field. And then Thielen with 4 touchdowns. It just shows he's got the footwork in the red zone, tapping his toes like a ballerina. This Vikings offense is really, really good, guys, all right? Even though they're 1-2, it's not the offense's fault. So that's why I'm looking at this defense here. I was kind of struggling of what 4 names I wanted to pick. Myles Garrett was a lock. Tossing JOK in there, joke. He has quickly ascended as one of the best rookies in the NFL. I don't think he's NFL Rookie of the Year kind of player. He just doesn't have the namesake. It's tough to do that when you're not a first-round pick. That's just life. It's unfair to him. But he is a huge contributor on this defense, making those quiet plays, all right? Malcolm Smith has really impressed me. Filling in for Anthony Walker, I like what I've seen so far out of him. I was pessimistic. He has proven me wrong. And then Denzel Ward, he's on here because it's time to show up a little bit more for Ward, all right? Looking for the money bag. Haven't seen why he deserves a huge contract extension so far. Still early, but I'm looking for him to go into another level in this game. My question for you guys, though. Most concerning Vikings offensive player. Is it Dalvin Cook? If he's a go, I think it has to be. Now, here's what's interesting. The Vikings can run the ball all they want, okay? That's not a key stop for me, though. The Vikings have always put up big numbers with Cook. That has not translated to wins, though. So I'm not too concerned about that. For me, it's Jefferson. He's the kind of player that can really change momentum in the game. That's not a bold take. I'm keeping my eye on Jefferson. Ward on Jefferson is my big matchup to watch in this one. Browns fans, make sure you subscribe right now, okay? Plain and simple, we piss excellence, all right, in the words of Ricky Bobby. So make that big red subscribe button a gray one. We'll get you guys locked in on previews, recaps, news, rumors all season long. Don't miss a story right here at the Cleveland Browns Report. Now time for my Browns-Vikings Week 4 keys to the game. I've got 3 keys for you guys. We're going to lay them all out here for you. Key number 1, DBs, you're up. Okay, Week 3, it was the pass rush. Myles Garrett, Clowney, McKinley doing the heavy lifting. Not going to be the case this time. It's not the same story, okay? Kirk Cousins, and I'll tell you why in a minute, it is going to be up to the DBs to stop him. It is not going to be get after Kirk Cousins, okay? 918 yards, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions so far for Captain Kirk. And a big reason why is he has been really good under pressure. Okay, look at the stats here. This is when he has under 2.5 seconds to throw in the pocket. Pretty almost perfect. 533 yards, 73.4 completion percentage, no picks. So you can get after Kirk and force a quick throw. That's not going to guarantee you great success. That's why for me, it's on the DBs, okay? You got to be locked down because Kirk Cousins, he's doing fine when there's pressure on him and getting the ball out of his hand quickly. Look at the Browns DBs here. This is their Pro Football Focus grades through 3 weeks so far. Not a big fan of PFF when it's early because you don't have a huge sample size. 3 weeks is enough for me to at least toss it in there, but I'm not going to overreact to it. But Denzel Ward, ranking 55th out of 108 qualifying cornerbacks, okay? Shout out to the rookie, Greg Newsome. He's quietly picked up his play since, I don't know, I wouldn't call it shaky week 1. You're a rookie. You're going to learn, especially when you go up against the Chiefs. But for me, the biggest name, John Johnson. You got paid this offseason, dude. Got to show up a little bit. 75th out of 80 for safeties. Again, it's only been 3 weeks, but this Browns defensive back room has to improve going up against a Kirk Cousins-led offense that is very comfortable with moving the ball quickly. My next question for you guys. Will the Browns pick off Kirk Cousins? All right? Has yet to be picked off. This Browns secondary is supposed to be one of the best in the NFL. It's looked like a good secondary. But for how much they're being paid, it's kind of underperforming. Would love to see them get the first pick off Cousins this season. Hoping to see a bunch of whys in the comments section down below. Key number 2 coming at you guys here. Abuse this nursing home secondary. It is ancient, all right? It makes mummies look like babies, okay? These are some old names that you'll recognize and think, oh, snap, they're good. No. Don't be fooled. This is not 2015, okay? Check out the names. Patrick Peterson, longtime Cardinal, not the same anymore, okay? His knees are as old as whatever oldest. That's how old it is. Then we couldn't get a new picture for Breland, okay? But yeah, came over from Kansas City. I'm attacking those 2 guys. That's what I'm doing. That's got to be the game plan. And you're doing it with OBJ, all right? No Jarvis Landry still. Coming back from that sprained MCL. So OBJ, Anthony Schwartz, loving to see him pick up his play. Had a great week 1. This is a great time to attack old cornerbacks, okay, who don't want to run down the field, all right? It's kind of like when your dad is like, all right, I'm done playing pickup basketball with you. I'm going to sit on the floor and have a beer. That's what these wide receivers need to do to these ancient, dusty cornerbacks. OBJ talking to you. Third key of the game for me, Stefanski's offensive game plan, all right? Kind of just talked about it, but this is a little bit of the Jedi and the apprentice here. Head coach Kevin Stefanski returning to Minnesota. If you know this, you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, spent a long time in Minnesota. 2006 to 2019, he climbed the ladder. Wide receivers coach, quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, assistant to the head coach. He was a staple in Minnesota for a long time, okay? Worked under Mike Zimmer from 2014 to 19, and then this is what I'm talking about. It's coming down to Zimmer's defense, which he loves. That's what the bread and butter for Mike Zimmer is, versus Stefanski's offense, okay? Stefanski's offense is going to incorporate a lot of these 2 guys, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So Whose turn is it to pop off this week? I want to know what you're thinking in the comment section below. I'm leaning towards Nick Chubb, okay, just because it's like a seesaw, all right? There's no rhyme or reason behind it so much. It's just the fact of, Hunt, you got the spotlight in week 3. Let's give your knees a break. Let's go over to Nick Chubb in this one. So those are my keys to the game right there. I want to know what you're thinking, though, in a moment. What's going to be – did I forget a key? I want to know the biggest key in this one, all right? Is it the defensive backs? Is it the Vikings secondary? What is the biggest key? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments section below. Would love to hear it. And if I left one out, also go, hey, you forgot this key. Pop off, sound off in the comments section. Let's get pumped for week 4. Browns going to hopefully be 3-1 when we're talking next week.